jugs, trampoline.
We should do a thing where we look at what our 4 years on Instagram. Our Instagram 4 years.
Let's do it right now. We'll start the podcast like that because we're live.
Oh, mine's gonna be super clean and safe.
Mine is always like.
I think mine's food.
I get a lot of food. There's always like a chick with like. Yep, there we go.
Oh, mine's got a guy in a Hooters outfit.
Oh man, mine's a little questionable.
Oh, mine's so clean, dude.
All right, so
mine's so clean.
I got that's a dude, right?
Yeah. Oh no, those ones are my favorite. The ones that are like,
okay,
be a chiropractor.
These ones.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The chiropractor video is kind of hot.
They're hot. Yeah, I got good versus bad tonality. What is this one here?
Oh, what the hell was that?
You have to screen record.
Oh,
that
it's a pregnant woman. I think.
Is it? That's like her hip.
You dirty little duck.
No, I think it's a pregnant.
Look,
belly.
I got this one. This thing is it's a bobcat. Other than that, it's like which omelet? Pick a row for like what type of omelet.
I have
big breakfast guy.
I have two different. One of my videos is somebody chasing a possum and
he just hasn't. Rick hasn't posted that yet. That's us.
And then I always get this guy from I don't know, Iranian restaurant. This big fat guy. He gets food and then he does a little jig.
This is your guy? This is like your
I like this guy. Watch, he's gonna get his food and then he's gonna do a little fat guy dance.
Oh, he's a vibe.
Yeah, we're trying to get him. We're trying to book him. His agent is cutthroat, brutal.
This is great content.
Yeah, you pay him with gyro, which was interesting, and we weren't used to.
Oh my god, I hate the internet.
The internet is. Oh, this is the morning routine thing.
Yeah, so I was asking my wife about this, and somehow she completely missed the biggest trend, the biggest thing of the internet from last weekend. You didn't see this guy, the guy with the
Ashton Hall.
Is that his name?
Ashton Hall. Yeah.
He's got the Saratoga water that he's like, this is my morning routine. It's like 4 hours of him doing nonsense in his apartment for.
Oh, is he ripped?
Yeah.
Does he do mouth tape?
Yes.
And does he have a voice that doesn't match his body?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't remember hearing him speak.
Yeah, so. He goes, yeah, no, this one is $10,000. I did not that one right over my head.
And he's worth
$250 million.
The
mouth tape?
Is he?
I'm kidding. I have no idea.
That video has like 60 something million plays.
And Saratoga water is just reaping all the benefits.
Saratoga water is the blue bottle.
Yeah.
No free ads.
And Big Banana is really one that's reaping in from this too. Because he wipes a banana on his face.
He wipes a banana on his face. How about the jump into the pool that took 4 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, because he was talking all of his time. So it elapsed from 6:41 to 6:45 from when he started jumping in.
Can I ask a question about him? Any women in the video?
Only the one that are serving him food periodically throughout. Yeah.
Yeah, which you said as they should, which I felt like was really heavy before we started rolling.
It's good to have.
We'll keep that in.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep that in.
That's definitely staying.
Thanks for having us, dude.
Yeah, we're here. Ricky Ryan, Blake Rice. We're lit.
Right where you left us.
Right where we.
Back in Westwood.
Which
has been near and dear. I would say the second most friends I have in any other town, anywhere else in the world, besides that are from the area, besides where I grew up, is Westwood, New Jersey.
That's fun. Where did you grow up?
South Jersey, in Morristown, but not the one near you here. Down 2 O's, down by Philadelphia. Down.
Oh, you're deep.
Yeah.
You're deep.
Yeah.
Is it like Rowan?
Yeah, like 20 minutes from Rowan.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Westwood to their Philadelphia, Westwood to New York.
Got you. Suburban town.
Yeah.
Didn't Deshaun Jackson live there or something like that?
Yeah, on the corners of Morristown, there's always an eagle or a Flyers or something. The T.O. Crunches video
is by you,
where he did that workout. Yeah, you can see my buddy's brothers and older brothers are in the background. They're the little kids in it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
What did he do? He did a press conference. He was kicked out of drag. Incredible cinema.
Does T.O. not have a podcast? I feel like that was a layup.
Yeah, layup. He's
Ocho Cinco
crushing.
Yeah, he does the
him pod. him and Shannon Sharp.
Yeah,
I'm big Club Shay Shay.
He's the best. I love dude.
Club Shay Shay.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
I think he's fantastic. He's a great host. I think he's really good, and he's great on. I love how you get to see him on First Take. Buttoned up, still he's Shannon, but then he goes and does his podcast. He's sipping it and he gets loose.
Oh yeah,
the way he talks about women and his interactions with women.
Rick, he doesn't get on elevators if there's a single woman on taking an elevator. He won't get in the elevator.
Is he's just like, you got to protect the money, or is he like, it's like that's like a Jewish thing?
I don't know.
You can't be alone with a woman.
He won't get in there.
Yeah, he's a horn dog.
I know
He
he defends. He got a sex tape.
Yeah,
by accident. He leaked on his live or something like that.
That's come on.
That'll happen to me.
Yeah,
I'll mess up the internet. It won't be a sex tape though. It'll just be a solo mission. You think?
I'm basically I'm Blake's internet person.
What? Yeah, he is. Tell him.
So Blake, when he recently got in, so Blake and I, as you know, we did that sketch comedy show in college, which we can talk about if you want later. But when he got nominated for Cannes last spring, we were on the phone and we were like, well, maybe we should take down some of these videos that we made back from like 15 years ago because I don't know, we haven't watched everything from beginning to end. We weren't exactly sure if there was something in there that could cancel us.
We didn't know what we said.
So I logged in, delisted everything, and I just, I did my Mr. Wolf, and I just kind of hit all the damage.
You burned the tapes.
Yeah, I burned everything.
I went on my YouTube too. And I pulled.
You scrubbed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the things I used to rap about, bro.
What'd you rap about? What were you the most scared of that you were like...
Is out there?
Yeah. Now, and put it out now.
No, it's more like... times were different, like, it could be like punchline stuff. It could be, how do I even word this without, let's just put it this way. Some of the things that I said, like the topics are just too hot to make a joke about it. I'll leave it at that.
That's the kind of stuff that I think about when I put my head on my pillow right before. For whatever reason, like when my mind starts running right when I'm in my bed, I'm like, I can't believe I made that joke 15 years ago in like on stage.
It shouldn't be like
everyone
that,
still
though.
thinks about that. I don't know.
I don't know. I think the sensitivity is a lot. I get it. Everybody's looking to attach themselves to something, give themselves purpose. I want everybody to have some sort of purpose. I do believe that they're looking outside of self and like attaching themselves to it, and it becomes their thing. And
right. So like they want to be part of the narrative or whatever.
Yeah. I just think it's I don't think it's broadcasted the way it's supposed to be in regards to the truth.
Sure.
That's just how I feel. But yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, I feel like there's more stuff that I've done in general that I'm more scared of.
The way I acted in real life actually was the most damaging.
For sure.
Well, I think what you, Blake, too, it's like where you, for like the first 10 years of your career, were trying to be an actor for the most part. And now you've kind of shifted to this like director. I mean, maybe you're still acting, but you're still shifting to this more director focus. And now you have like years of content of you as an actor out there. And a lot of this stuff, I remember because I go on your IMDb page, I'm trying to delete these pictures of you from doing these like short films. Yeah. And like, and it's like, not only are they, everybody does these when you're trying like these short films, like when you're, and the quality of them in 2015 was average, but then you're like, 10 years later, and then you look back and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's rough. And also, I mean, starting out, I was always going the director route. You just can't get a shot. I still technically, like, I'm just getting my shot now,
right,
to make a full length movie with a real movie. Now it's been, how am I, 35? It's been 15 years, 14 years.
Crazy,
so like, as I'm PAing, trying to learn the production side of it, was also still, on the acting side, doing stand up, transitioning more, but just spending all my bartending money once a year on a short. Yeah. Tell me about this though.
With the podcast?
I need to know. I need the Robbie download. All right,
so we're flipping gears. You're going to interview me.
100%.
All right, we'll start there.
You told me before we started that it was kind of a switch to kind of flip. Like you're doing the family now. Yeah. You're getting off of the art in a way, but also starting this podcast now too. What's the switch? Dish.
Yeah. Man, the last 7 years has just been tricky, man. It's been tricky. So I've said this a few times on the podcast. Basically, I made a run as an artist. I really enjoy being an artist.
What's the run?
The run was run meaning like time wise. I had a run of 2008, I guess, starting kind of. Yeah. To 2017, 18 ish.
Cool.
I don't really remember, but so Yeah, man, I jumped into it because for the first time in my life in college, I got hit over the head like, oh my God, everything isn't so easy anymore. Like everything came very easy to me in life. You know, like growing up, I was an athlete. I was, popular. I had friends. I had all these, like nothing. I was smart. Everything was very simple, and I was able to like work the system and still get away with so much.
Yeah.
And then when I went to college, there's these expectations with your parents. You got to do well, and I'm going to play football. And then what is it like when I'm going to quit football because I don't want to play anymore? What is it like when I got to tell my parents I got like a 0.8 GPA? You know what I mean? Like, how do I explain all this?
That's almost harder to do than getting a 4.0, I think, a 0.8.
No, it was very easy. It was very, very easy. I'll tell you a funny story, and I'll get back into it. I'll tell you a funny story. This was the way I used to think in college. So I had it was like, what class was it? It was like a history class, right?
Yeah, it was histories. It was histories.
It was a survey class.
It was some sort of a history, sub-genre. So I go to the first day. I'm there. I'm like, I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? So I don't go.
Start. What were you expecting?
Dude,
there's a teacher and a desk.
I was like I felt like I was in a kid in a candy shop when I'm in college. I get out of Westwood. I was free. I mean, I think we all go through this. And I just took full advantage of the freedom, right? And so, and I'm also, I was manipulative. I was able to just make it look a certain way and tell my parents this.
I'm going to guess you got a long way on charm. Charm did a lot for you.
To this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
I get that. Probably for everyone here.
Yeah, probably, for sure. So, long story short, I'm in class. I don't go. For the rest of this semester, I go the second to last class of the semester, and there's like all these tests, and we have, so I walk in and I hit my chair, and the teacher's like looking at me like,
who's this guy?
Basically, I don't even know if there's no way she remembers. So I go and I say, can I talk to you after the class? And she was like, yeah, whatever, So I pull out of the class. I came up with this whole story about how my parents were arguing and they were getting divorced, and I wound up moving down with my dad down the shore, and like I turned to alcohol and I haven't even been on campus, this whole thing. Bro, she gave me all the tests and everything. I wound up getting a C-.
Dude, I did the exact same thing at Rowan, man. And
so if any kids are watching or listening, you can lie your way through upper education, especially in the state of New Jersey. Montclair? Where'd you go?
State,
Montclair State. You can lie your way through.
At Prof Nation, Rowan, where Blake and I met.
Prof Nation.
And I did the same thing in like I had to do like a geology class or some sort of like education class, and then like I went to like the first couple, I was like, this sucks, and I was like already like a senior or something like that, and then I just came back towards the end, and I was like, I had to, the economy's so bad, I had to get another job. Can I just make up all the assignments and get it for a C-? He was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then like I did the
Like never had to go.
No, never.
They're like, you pay to be here. I guess.
Yeah. Well, my whole objective was like, I just wanted to play football. And then going into my sophomore year, because I sat my whole freshman year, I went into spring ball, and then I just was not focused, bro. Like, I did not want to go put pad. I just literally was over it. It just hit me, right? And so I quit football. I wrote out I don't know what to say. It's not my sophomore year. It's my second year. I went into my third year, and I dropped out. And when I dropped out, I had already done. I fell in love with music at my time. I fell in love with rapping my time in Montclair. So I did it, and while I was in Montclair, I wound up meeting my buddy Elijah, who brought me down to the Book of Basement, which were the Fugees did the Score album. And so once I got there, that was my home. And so I switched gears tremendously, right? And it was the first time ever where I was like, yo, I'm not a failure. I'm not going to be the guy who dropped out of school and So I have to go sink my teeth into something and prove that it's with purpose. So in the beginning, to be honest, it was like a passion thing and fun, but it was also this, like, I think I started doing music really because it was like I had to go prove something.
And it's hard enough that you probably are justifying to yourself the speed bumps.
For sure.
And it's more socially acceptable to be like, man, I'm still cracking through, but it's impossible. No one can do it. So like these speed bumps are more acceptable at the time or growing up,
For sure.
I remember being at a house party in like 2008, and this was like when everyone was probably starting to tell you got to start doing rap, right? Because I remember you were like just starting to freestyle at house parties, and I remember you doing like an alphabet freestyle.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yes.
Give us a bar.
You don't have to do the bar.
No, I don't. I actually don't remember the.
You don't have to do it because we have a clip.
I remember my first rap. So the way it started, I used to smoke.
This first rap is legendary because I've heard it from Kurt.
My name is Max, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Was Asher Roth a big?
No,
because I remember that was like he was like that big college rapper that came out.
There was no real influence like that, dude. I never did music. I never did music. No, I never did music. I was a music head. Like I loved listening to music. I was probably the one out of my friends that ventured into like hip hop and listening to Lil Wayne and Eminem. Like I was engulfed in. I loved hip hop.
Sure,
but when I started rapping, I mean, it was a joke. I wrote a rap in high school, never showed anybody. I was a Black and Mild smoker. So like I'd be out late night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be champing a Black and Mild. And this dude, Bo from, this is how it started. This dude, Bo from Newark, comes up to me. He's like, yo, white boy, you champing a mild? You know? And mind you, you're not a lot of white boys out at 2 a.m. champing a Black and Mild.
Taking the cancer paper
out. So he's like, you mind if I hit that with you? I was like, yeah, sure. So we got cool, and then we would...
Blake's calling the police on us right now for smoking a Black and Mild.
Look, we're going to have subtitles. And,
he's Googling what is Black and Mild.
Why'd you ask Asher Roth? Out of all the rappers,
because right in 2008...
He was like Asher Roth or Sammy Adams.
In 2008, I Love College had just come out, and I just remember... that being like the easy connection to, here's the white rapper.
It was intriguing.
The era of that college rap.
And they were like, it was also sample. Remember, like everything, like all the Wayne's mixtapes were like sampled off like that, like biggest pop song. You downloaded on
LimeWire,
like, that Piff or LimeWire and all that. And so everything seemed, and you were getting music right away. So it all seemed attainable.
I didn't use LimeWire for that.
What'd you use LimeWire for?
You know Heather? Remember Heather?
I do remember Heather. We all remember Heather, dude.
Will the AI automatically bleep out Heather at I deep throat?
No, because Heather was the actually head of admissions at Montclair State who we talked to.
That was my history teacher.
Yeah. That was history.
So no, when I
deleted history teacher actually. Thanks guys. Just a little deleted bun.
Yeah, viruses and so I basically. I had a rap. Bo would bring me around because I would champ and smoke Black and Milds with him, and then he went into these ciphers, and I was the only white boy, and so I jumped into one, and I just did that rap, and I wound up getting paraded around by Bo to do that rap for 3 months.
And that was you do that with Sammy? Was that when you?
No, that was later.
Oh, okay, got it.
So that was that, and then I fell in love with writing. I was like, oh, you know what? I need a new one. By the end of my freshman year, I had a folder of just raps of other people's beats, YouTube stuff, whatever, and so I wasn't good, but I was entertaining, right? And so when I went, fast forward, when I go to the Book of Basement, it was like, oh my God, I'm in a real studio. I had a couple songs I put on MySpace, but like, I was in a real studio. And I just fell in love with the process. And I probably would have stopped if it weren't for it constantly going like this. Like I remember coming back here and people being like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Like you're rapping, bro? Like, are you kidding me?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Were they really?
What do you mean?
Were they really saying that?
Oh, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Like, I feel like half the time those kind of doubts and kind of stuff coming in, sometimes it's like half yourself looking to hear if it comes in, and you're weighing it so much more over the good news. And they would say the same thing to you if you're trying to start a construction business. Like you're ready to, they're pretty young.
Yeah.
Have you ever built stuff before, and that level of, I don't know, balancing out that like, is this worth it? It sounds insane, but I love it so much, and it is the only thing that'll make me work.
It was actually motivating.
You're gonna have haters though, or whatever.
It wasn't haters. It was my friends. The same way they crack on me now. It's just busting my balls. It's like, what are you doing? And but again, like that was it. That I was driven because of it. I was like, okay, well, let me show you. So I'm at the basement. And I'm around Jim Jones and Montana 300 and
I know all these people, by the way.
And Wyclef for like a year and a half, like a fly on the wall, and I'm watching shit, and that's where I learned how to make music because they're Fugees and the music, whatever. So to answer your question, I go through like 7 years and it constantly progressed. And I was doing shows with Sammy Adams and Waka Flocka and Machine Gun Kelly and doing these music videos and getting notoriety, and I'm on the radio and I'm on MTV Jams, and like it constantly kept going like this.
Yeah.
And it came to a point where I was engaged and I had a big deal on the table. And when it fell through, I had stopped for 6 months for it. I had this huge rollout that I was planning to hit everybody with all this new music. And it was really a decision like, okay, how are you going to support your soon to be family?
Yeah, of course.
And it just wasn't realistic. And I made a conscious decision.
I'm kind of going through, I went through that, and I'm in the middle of that right now. This is like kind of the first creative thing I've done in a really long time. And as you know, Blake and I, we did that show for years, and then doing shorts, and we had a podcast and all these things. And then in 2019, my dad passed away when I was like probably a month after like the last time I did stand-up comedy was in the summer of 2019. Because I used to run and produce a monthly comedy show with my buddy from my company at Splash, and which was awesome. He's actually still doing it, and I'm going to go. He's doing a show in West Village on Tuesday. I'm going to go help him out on that on Tuesday. Pretty cool. Jared Freed, who's a really good comic, he's going to be on that show. And I remember doing like at that time was such a crazy time for me. I was still trying to do stand up. We were doing the podcast. Yeah. We were also working on we were pitching a television show. We were making and pitching a television show. Yeah. And we shot a pilot that summer. All of this is going on where I was also working high stress tech job, and my dad was dying. And then my dad died. We went a few months. We finished the project. Yeah. For this pilot that we made with our agent manager, and then we had a producer. And we did this whole thing. We put together a whole pilot and then a 5-minute sort of pitch video. And then we finish it. The new year comes, and then the funniest thing happened, right, in 2020, where the pandemic hit. And I think after like pouring all of this into your work and all these things in this project, and then basically going through this phase where it wouldn't even be considered, somebody looking at it, where you come from this time period where everything was being like green lit. The pandemic kind of put a halt to everything. I think that was just like a huge sort of like, I don't know. I kind of just dropped a lot of that creative sort of things from my life and kind of reshifted to this like, all right, I'm just going to get a job and get back into the swing of things. And my creative outlet was just going back and working on these comedy shows once a month and kind of doing it from there.
How do you feel about all of that?
Sometimes it nags at you. Yeah. I can't act like it doesn't, because there's an outlet there. But I feel like, sometimes I'll think to myself, it's like, where did that person go?
Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Like, where is that guy that could be so confident that could write something or do a clip on Instagram or video on Instagram and not feel like everyone's going to just make fun of him? Like I even had, what do you call it? Like imposter syndrome about doing this. Where I'm like, who is this guy doing this? Why do people care what I have to say? That kind of thing.
Well, this is not, let's dead that, because that's not what this is. Like, that's the one thing that I want to do in general with this is like, me doing this is an outlet for other people who have something to say, to tell a story. This isn't like, I don't care what you do, how much notoriety you have. Like, there's going to be some really big guests when it comes to followers, and there's going to be some people that might not even have a social media. I don't care, right? So don't ever feel like that. Matter of fact, use this as like a bit of motivation to even let the creative juices flow a little bit. Because I asked that because I've struggled for the last 4 years, like mentally struggled. And then because I'm struggling, find ways that are outside of the ways I would channel my frustration in creativity in ways that I'm not proud of, things that I don't want to do, things that, aren't good for my soul, aren't good for my head. Like, yeah, it's been very tricky, and this is the first time in a long time that I feel really, really good about doing something again. I've always wanted to continue to do music, bro. I never thought that when I stopped doing music and told all my guys that I'm done, that it was going to be 7 years. Never in a million years. Like, never in a million years did I think I wasn't going to drop music again.
Yeah, but maybe it's what you need. Like, maybe you didn't have anything to say, and now you do.
Oh, I have so much to say. Like, I have so much, bro. The music that I'm writing, that I'm sitting on, has it's actually, I'm more proud of that music than anything I'd ever done prior, but nobody's ever heard it.
Dude, it's all meant to. The cards are meant to fall how they will. Like, and we're young as hell.
Oh, so the one thing I'll say is I do not put, like, age to me is irrelevant. I don't look at things like that. Right. Like, I live my life as a kid I'm a kid at heart.
I'm nodding to this and just getting Botox. It's like 100%. Oh no, 100%. Yeah, and you shoot it in my calves.
Yeah, he's ordering like an avocado wrap on his phone right now.
Oh, so I'm in the bagel capital of the fucking world right now.
No, they got a good one over there.
Rick comes in here, is like, this place doesn't have Taylor ham. Like, it's like Westwood. It's not my Westwood, not the Westwood I know.
You don't even know. You're in South Jersey. You don't even know what that's about, dude.
No, but
we're pork roll.
I watch from a distance, you know, like I watch you, I watch OB, I watch a lot of other people that I came up with, and I watch them continue to go in a direction. And listen, life is life, right? Like I got married, you know, there's a lot of factors that changed the landscape of my trajectory. But like I watch it and like there's this one part of me that's like, damn, I'm so fucking proud that they stuck to it. Because I you know, all of us are so wildly talented, right? When you're especially on a come up, to me, those are like the glory years where you're not thinking too much. There's not really, you're putting thought into your creativity, but you're not overthinking anything because you don't even know what to overthink. You're just doing and being. And I miss that. I miss that fucking feeling, bro. That feeling is irreplaceable. And I want to get back to it. I do, and I'm tired of overthinking. I'm tired of trying to strategize and
the recent stuff that I've had this kind of change for like the first time. Like I'm in it. Like we were talking about this before we started, but I was making films for 15 years, spending all my bartending money on seeing other people get married, have kids, buy houses, take vacations. And I'm like, well, I got to pay for a sound designer on this one thing. Or, you know, I think the script is good enough to sacrifice this and have this way on a relationship and to have this like, you know, just not live the traditional path for so long. And then at the same time, making all this stuff just to not have any idea where it goes. And I'm writing full-length movies for years and having no idea even how to send them out up until even a year ago. And this stuff, the work I have going now is for the first time, they're reading older stuff I've done, been like, this is great. This is stuff I'm getting.
Because you're in the right rooms though, right?
Yeah, but it goes to show that stuff when times are tough, when you think you're just, you know, you're not there yet, or you're just making content for your own self, there's value in that.
Well, you know, I think what YouTube like is like, there's a resilience. Cause you know, when I think about some of the stuff with your career too, where you did Sawdust, right? You put a lot of time, effort into that short film, and you submitted it to what, like 100 festivals and didn't get accepted to a single one,
accepted like 3.
And then like, and I'm not, no, I'm okay. But
you're fucked up.
No. But my point is that I think there are some people that would have been like, all right, well, I just poured my soul into another project. And you know, it got 100 views or whatever it is, right? Whatever context that is to whatever somebody's trying to do. But you're only as close to what your goals are as your next project. And then you did your next project and the one after that, and then you got connected to, you know, you got nominated for short film in Cannes, which is like insane. So now, you know, it doesn't mean you can keep your foot off the gas, but I think that's just a testament to being resilient.
It's the last thing you do.
I feel this pressure now in 2 ways. It's like, one, I feel like when people watch my stuff, when they see it got into that festival, they go like this. Like, fucking impress me. And then
I'm just doing that because I'm trying to cover my gut and the camera
let him
ahead. I don't know.
Is
this thing just straight into my dick right now?
This is the Moose Knuckle Pod, and we're here to talk about inseams. And now also, like, I do have another short coming out, but it's like I'm in the room for features for the first time, and that'll hopefully happen. And I'm also like, man, I got to follow this with this. So now I have real money behind my stuff. Like, I hope I'm good.
Like, but you know that's what you do it for. Like, you know, you get to when you do what you do in the creative space, you know, it's so taboo in so many ways. Like a lot of people want to be creative and want to do it more than they even do. And I know a lot of people who have never even tapped into, like, as far as publicly tap into their creativity, they just hold it within. I'm like, dude, do you know how fucking talented you are? You have no clue. Do you know?
Yeah, but they just have life balance and health insurance and happy family.
Well, yeah, but you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I've had some pretty deep conversations with my wife as of late, like some pretty deep ones. And, oh yeah, dude. The older I get, and even though that, you know, I don't look at myself like I'm this. I'll never look at myself like I'm old.
How old are you?
36.
Okay. I'm 23 at midnight.
At midnight. Yeah. No, I've just talked to her a bunch, and I said, you know, because the truth. So the truth of the matter is, I am living a life that I have to live, and this has nothing. Because my wife and my son, like, I love them. They are that's my best friend and my whole heart. You know what I mean? So, but the truth is, I'm living a life that it's like kind of your life. it's not really my life. Like, this isn't how I would choose to do it, right? I don't look at marriage or any relationship or how you raise your kids as like there's a one way to do it. We're taught it's and it's projected to you like this is the way it is and this is the way it's supposed to go. And like I actually wouldn't do it that way. I would do it exactly just how I want to do it, which is whatever happens.
Yeah.
However we want to do it, we do it. My kid is going to be loved. That is what matters most. I'm going to teach him the ropes through whatever it is. I want him to feel like he could be free and figure his life out in so many ways. And so, I've had these conversations with her, and I said to her, like, I'm losing myself. Like, I'm really losing myself right now. And I bite my tongue a lot. I've switched so many things. We didn't live together prior to getting married. So everything I did as an artist, she never really knew. Right. So I'm more of I don't want to go to sleep or up in bed at 10 o'clock, 10:30. I don't want to. Right. I want to stay downstairs and write.
I want to be on LimeWire downloading videos.
Heather.
I'm working on music.
No, but it's like anything. No, like I don't look at the clock like it's the way it's just been taught to us is not because I did it the way I did it for so long and found spiritual success. Like real spiritual peace in doing it that way. You can understand. So you don't know how hard it's been for me to adapt. And I've done a pretty damn good job of doing it, but it doesn't mean that I'm like happy.
I had this like really like weird, I got this really like weird sign the other day. So it's kind of been like a tough year. And I think maybe this will resonate with you a little bit with what you're going through. And I was going for a walk on Astoria Park. It was like a tough day I was having, and this park is right on the water. And I'm walking on the water, and I see you can hop over the fence, and there's like this little beach area right by the water. And I see like this guy, he's sitting on the beach alone, by himself. And this is like not a nice beach, right? So I'm walking towards it, and I'm like, damn, that guy looks sad. I know what that I can just tell from his posture that he's sad.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling sad right now too. And I'm like, as I'm getting closer to this guy, I keep thinking like, maybe I should like go talk to him, or maybe I should like say something like, hey, how are you? Reach out to him.
Yeah.
And as I get closer to him and start to walk by him, he's not alone. His son is next to him, and he's being blocked. The son was being blocked from my view. And as I saw him, he was actually with his son sitting there looking at the water. And to me, it was like, you can feel alone sometimes, but sometimes like those, the most important things in your life and the happiest things in your life, they're sitting right next to you. Maybe you can't see it right away. And if you keep walking, you'll be able to notice it. It was like such a profound, this only happened like 2-3 weeks ago. And I like couldn't believe like how it was revealed to me that he was like, not alone and not, not sitting there and sad but alone. He was actually having a really nice moment with his son.
It's heavy. I will say, thank God for my kid. I mean that from like the deepest part of my soul, my heart. I was very, very lost prior to my son. The year leading up to my wife's pregnancy and her pregnancy was not.
What year is this?
This is he was born December of 21. So
that was a tough time anyway over there. Yeah,
it was a tough time. December 21. Yeah, December 21. So it was there was a lot going on. I just was not happy. Like, I like there's a side of me that's proud of myself that like with no degree, no nothing, I was able to get into the corporate world and be able to excel. Right. Yeah. But it's just not the fucking life I want to live. It's really not. And I was at a crossroads mentally. And the second he popped out, it was a switch. Like literally the second I saw him, it was like this rush. And he's become my purpose. He has helped me simplify a lot of things and really evaluate all of the things that I'm even talking to you about now, like all of my issues or everything that I've been dealing with personally. It makes them a little less important because he's the most important.
Right.
So like something like that is, but at the same time, like, I'll say this again to my wife a lot, and I've been going to therapy, and so like a lot of it is just communication and talking and keeping it a buck, and being okay with however the chips fall.
Yeah.
You kind of have to, otherwise you're just suppressing everything, and who's the one you're just gonna crack. And I've been there.
And men are dumb, and we try to keep it in forever.
We try to stay tough.
It will break us.
We try to stay tough.
We are weak. Yeah.
We are emotional beings the same way as everybody else is. It's just we're supposed to stay. It's this stereotype of being tough and keeping your boots on the ground and going and like yes, we have to, of course. Mm-hmm. But I actually prefer to be vulnerable because every time that I have, it's actually opened up doors in many other ways. So I've told her like I do not want to be 60, 65 years old and look back and say, why didn't I? And if I'm there, I'm telling you right now, I know my mind, it's not going to be good. Mm-hmm. So we can either figure this out and I'm going to communicate with you. And yes, of course, I'm putting like priority.
Yeah.
But if I don't have an outlet, if I don't have a something like this, a vessel to do as often as I possibly can. Yeah.
Where do you think creatively your best chops are? I think you're good at a lot of stuff, right?
That's like a gift and a curse. Because I'd rather be great at, I don't know if I'd rather be, but like it's when it comes to professional anything or like monetary figuring out, it's like almost better to be great at one thing and not good at everything. The best thing, like grabbing a mic, like freedom. Like when I was on stage, for instance, my music got good, but it was like got okay. It wasn't even great.
What do you think in music your best attribute was? In Madden ranking, it was live performance.
100%.
Yeah.
Performing in interviews.
Yeah.
Like I created, it was a slow burn as far as like any bit of notoriety that I got, but it wasn't like I had this banger that everybody's like, oh my God. It wasn't like that. It's like when even 20 people came to my show or I opened up for, the artist that I opened up for, I shut shit down. You walked away like, who the fuck was that?
Yeah,
like
right.
I think that is my biggest gift, and it doesn't matter where it is. It's like I've done a lot of like we all do it, introspective thinking, like who are you and all these different things. And like the one thing I've really understood is I have these areas where I really fall into flow states. That is my bucket. Right. And so when I'm on a stage, when I'm on a ball field, when I'm on a basketball court, when I'm talking like this, when there's no strings attached and it's just freeing, right? When I'm, doing anti-bullying tours and talking to the kids, like things like that, where nothing is getting inside of my brain. I'm being, right? The second I have to think or I'm comparing or I'm trying to do something because this worked and that worked and I saw this person pop off and this and that, it becomes, I could do it well, but it's not real. So this is it. And at this point, I just want to do it and be it, and what comes and let it be what it is.
I think this is the move for you.
I do
think
too.
This is so, and I don't know nearly as well as Rick does, but seeing you from afar and seeing your music, we've been in your music videos. We had him on Socially Awkward as a guest.
Yeah, we did. You were one of the first musical guests. Yeah.
I think you have it, man. I think this is the best move. And
I agree. Like I see you like getting on, not just doing this, but red carpet conversations with people, that type of thing.
It's funny. I have a lot of goals in my mind. The problem is, it's like you gotta start somewhere. To me, this is the best vessel, right? Like I've had a desire to act. I've had a desire to do music again.
I think you could act.
I think I actually genuinely believe, and I've never
Robbie De Niro.
Robbie De Niro, bro.
Come on,
all day.
Robbie De Niro.
What was the kid from Euphoria?
Yeah.
I mean, R.I.P.
Jacob Elordi.
No,
Fatty.
Faz.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like that could have been you.
Well, and
not the overdosing.
Here's the funny
part,
thing is, I still think it like the way why I'm saying what I'm saying is because I just want things to be what they are. I don't because. I acted one, for instance, in this movie King of Newark. I was asked to.
I think I remember that. Yeah,
I was asked to play a police officer, which was once
Look,
I did.
You
it,
white, you're the police officer.
Yeah.
Like Irish background.
No, but and it was like the first time I was ever doing something like that. But I remember like I'm reading the script, right? And I'm watching, I pay attention to the way a lot of people operate in general, right? Even people that have done more on paper in that world than I have. Yeah. A lot of people are just very like uptight and trying not to like mess up. And, they want it to be, and then to me, that takes away from, that's just how I feel. I don't know the world like that, but I'm watching it. And I think people overthink. And like there was specifically a guy, one of the police officers I was with, and this guy's been on, a bunch of these like cop shows, like NCIS and all these other things.
Procedurals.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching him and he had this professionalism about him, which was good. Like there was a lot of things that I learned from him that were important. But I'm also looking at him and I'm saying,
light work.
Yeah, because so what would happen was I'm reading the script and I'm like, nah, it's kind of cheesy. So I would do it in my own way, or I would throw in a line that was off the top. Like there's a clip in, for instance, where I first get seeing him in the car, and it was like, and I'm eating a bag of chips, so I told him like, I'm gonna eat a bag of chips while we're doing this. Like, what do you mean? Because it's real. It's like I'm sitting in a fucking car, I'm eating a bag of chips. So I'm eating a bag of chips, and I'm like, yo, did you watch American Idol last night? And the guy didn't even know how to really approach it. But it was funny. It was funny. And then there was a scene where like I slapped this dude across the face, like out of the blue, right? And it was like, what the fuck? That's why I think I would be good. I think I'd be good because I just think I'd be good.
I think instincts are important. I hope that we can pull up a clip of that for the podcast too, because I'd like to see you slap the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, I think too. I mean, for acting, you have to sell yourself. Like you're still selling, Yeah. And I think you could do that. I think also like you're charming, you have personality, you could win people over in the room, and also like you're literally your type. Like you're a redhead. Yeah. Like that's rare. Already your type is different. Your casting type is different. And yeah, you could do it.
I think I could do it.
Like, could you take do you want to struggle and do it? And that's the next thing. It's
like I can't, how do I, do you go all the way? It's like how much time and energy?
You take an acting class on the weekends.
Oh, that I would do. I would do that.
You see if you like it more. And if you like it more after that, then you tap your friends that are in it. You tap me and be like...
It's correct. I had my buddy John Tyler Young, who I met on an airplane. I don't know if you saw this episode or not, but like randomly met this guy on an airplane, right? We talked for 5 hours straight. And turns out he also directs movies. He was in Winning Time. So he's like...
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Winning Time was a good show.
It was a great show. It was a great show.
It got canceled.
Me too. It was a great show. And, and he's good. Like he's good, and he's similar to you. Like acts, and then now he's directing and producing his own film, and but like because I've done what I've done and always put myself out there. The one thing about even being confused, but just constantly doing, is that my network continues to evolve. My network continues to open up. Yeah. I can make a phone call and say, hey, Blake, listen, what do you got coming up? I just want to take my shot, right? And I know that you would say. Either you'd keep it real.
Say, who's this?
No, you'd keep it real or whatever.
I see Westwood calling again. Like Rick got a new number.
Oh God! Let me see if I could find this this clip. I don't know if it's on.
You can also act like you can do this and bump in and act and stuff. I think like acting, if it's not your number one thing, you can still do it. Like I don't really call myself an actor anymore. I don't act. I haven't acted, but then because of the work I have now and the stuff I have, I did my first TV show.
What was the show?
It hasn't come out yet. I can't say the name.
Okay.
But
so you're acting in it.
Acting. I played an agent.
You can find it on Pornhub, I think.
You can. Yeah. It's
X videos.
What was the title of it? I forget.
It was stepmom gets stuck in dryer. Was that what it was?
Yeah. And dryer technician watches it all, and so I play the dryer tech. My back's to the wall though. But yeah, no, you can like, acting's a blast. Acting's awesome. The struggle of acting and the come up is you got to be able to weather the storm. I say that for anyone. Like I'm just getting in the room. My deals aren't done yet. Yeah. I'm still I'm just getting commercials that I can do whatever I want with. Yeah, but that took this long. Like I talk to friends like want to start with film. I'm talking to students this weekend at the first school I went to, and I want to be like, how long does a surgeon have to go through school? After high school, how long does it take a surgeon to be a surgeon? 10 years? And how much debt?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And you want to direct movies. You want to be you want to be an act. You want to be a.
And he's like, surgeons, they don't do anything.
Surgery is nothing. But like, I'm just talking about how long it takes to get good at your craft and really get up there.
Yeah.
Have you done your 10,000 hours?
of like on set.
That's what they say, right? Isn't that Malcolm Gladwell says if you is it 10,000 hours?
I'd like to think that everybody sitting up here has done 10,000 hours. I don't think that's even a question.
Right after we graduated from Rowan, I have like a little pilot, got a meeting with like a network, had a bunch of sketches with Rick, and I was coaching lacrosse back at my old high school and working at Bertucci's.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like my jobs at the time. And one of the kids I'm coaching, his uncle is a famous director, directed movies you heard of. And they were like, hey, Blake's a filmmaker. They like connected me on an email with this dude. And he was like, yeah, I'll get on a call and give him some advice. And I get on the phone with him and I'm like, hey man, I think I'm ready for a literary agent. I think I'm ready for a directing agent. And he was like, it was some of the best advice. One of those moments that like was so healthy for me at the time. He was like, how many scripts have you written? And I was like, well, I got a pilot I'm really psyched about. I'm working on like my first feature script and I have these other sketches. And he was like, if you can count just how many things you've written, you're not even close. You know what I mean? You're not even close if you can even count.
Yeah.
You know, writers write every day. Are you writing every day?
Yeah.
I'm ready for a literary agent.
Are you talking about typecasted, by the way?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And just really put me in check. My dad did a similar thing for me with sports. I was like, I think I'm gonna want to play at Hofstra. I want to play.
Yeah.
He was like, you're not playing D1. And I was like, oh. And it was just so good to like, I had these certain points in my career and in life that like just put me in the health. It was like probably a tough conversation to have.
You don't want to hear it.
And you don't want to tell it to the person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But it's real. You
helped
need
me
it
so much.
Yeah.
Really did. And then the stuff that when you do have haters, you do have some doubt come in, when you're really sure within yourself and you hear that and you power through it, that's enough. That's what helps, being like, oh yeah, I heard that and that wasn't enough to stop me.
Correct.
That no at that festival, me not getting in, Sawdust was movie 6 of mine.
Yeah.
That got that didn't do a festival I wanted. Like, no, that wasn't enough to slow me down.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that's where passion becomes one of those things that, I want to say it gets lost, but it doesn't get paid attention to enough. Like, where are your passions, right? So, like, if you that time, the reason you persevered and went through is because you were passionate about the thing that you were doing, right? Yeah. I think that's the only thing that got me through all my music was like every single day. Every day I wrote. Every single day I was at the studio. Every single day I was emailing people. I'll never forget when that rap you're talking about with the Mac Miller show with Chris Webby. Right?
Webby, that's what it was. Yeah, I got it.
So I was wildly green. Wildly green. And I remember my managers at the time, they were like, yo, you got to go into this cypher. They like saw it happening, and it was JoJo Simmons is standing there, and it's Mac Miller's show, so like it was packed, bro. And I just jumped. Let me go. And I jumped in, and I go in, right. So I'm saying this to say though, when I didn't know what was going to happen with that, but what did happen was I probably had the dopest verse, and it was the first verse right before Chris Webby. So when Chris Webby's name at the time on YouTube was what it was. The video in 24 hours got like 50,000 plays, and at the time that's like a thing, right? Like it's a little more prevalent now where people get all these views.
Yeah, 50,000 is like, I remember that was like the biggest deal for us in college.
It's a huge thing, bro. It's like a monumental moment,
right?
You're like, oh my God, I fucking made it, But what I was doing at the time on YouTube, you were able to go in. This is the conversations I've had with people I've managed. This is conversation I've had with people I've mentored, people that have reached out to me for advice. The reason I give the advice that I give in regards to anything that they're asking me, right, whatever it is because of these moments. When that video popped up for a week it was probably more than that, a month. Anytime somebody commented or any other page, so on YouTube back then, you can go into people's accounts and you can actually comment to them directly.
Right.
Everybody, I'm the first white rapper on the video. Check me out. I got some songs up here. Yeah. When I tell you, I spent hours and hours and hours and hours making sure people heard from me directly.
Right.
So that was like slowly but surely what helped me build a community. It was probably half of my subscribers to this day was from that specific moment. Right. It's the passion. Like, don't tell me you want to be an artist. Don't tell me you want to be a songwriter. Don't tell me. You got to show them how bad do you want it.
Yeah.
Like, how bad do you want it? You could be the most talented person in the world.
And you have to invest too when you're at that stage. And I feel like when, especially music fans, they always want to be like on the new artist first.
Yeah,
and when you're putting out that stuff, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" And then like you're commenting on there, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on the Robbie the train like early." You know?
And you know what my thought process was, even if, because like there'd be people be like, "Yo, bro, get the fuck out of here." They would dub me or whatever. Like I always in the back.
It was me.
You're like, you had all the burner accounts.
I was the guy before they started
the
rolling.
negative content. There was one on our video where they said that Blake's Adam's apple looked like it was being.
No, I know what you're talking about.
What was
They said it looked like my Adam's apple was an alien pushing its face through pizza dough.
Wow.
Points.
That's great, actually. Kudos to that guy. Or
I'm
girl.
kind of back in just recently, I'm back in the I got reviews for the first time. So that was really cool to actually get real reviews and that kind of thing, and real mentions in the trades and write-ups. But then also some of my older work now is going online and getting like the comments. And
but you're on Letterboxd. Your film's on Letterboxd too, which is like open. You know it's like that. It's like a social network for people that watch TV and movies, right? So you go on there, you can follow people, you grade your movies, and you can write reviews, and then people can also comment on the movies, right? So it's a really cool thing. Like you track your top movies for the year, and and you can write reviews for everything. So Blake's short T was on there, and then the comments, some of them are hilarious, I think. Too.
Yeah. So and T's played like all over the world, so they're in different languages and all this other stuff.
You're big in Iran, right?
I did. Great. Yes, I did do well there.
We said no politics. So.
Yes, I did do well there.
We did play there. But being back on, and then some of my, because of the success of T, some of my older shorts are getting love now and getting put out. Like Sawdust is going up, and Steps just went up, and
that's the beauty though.
So that's what I miss about sketch comedy when Rick and I would do it. And I do work with some sketch comedy stuff now, but is that we would get it out there, shoot it, get it out, put it out. And in film, I work with even the shorts, it's like a year.
Yeah.
And then I put it up there, and then by the time people actually see it when it gets accepted into and it really plays theaters, you're a year and a half behind.
Right.
And so and that means the script is 2 years behind. So you're like, man, my creative decisions are 2 years old whenever anyone's watched them. You're watching T now, that's probably 3 years. I'm a director. I'm 3 years better of a director. That's how I feel. And people are watching this, and you get reviews on it, and you're like, damn, it's
but
just
it's their
crazy.
first.
Yeah,
it's their first experience of it. That adds actually.
The comments are some of the people are hilarious, mean.
They're great, and but what's funny is that was part of another motivation. When they would write negative comments, I would always think to myself yeah, we'll wait until the next 2 years. When you see me here, and then you see me here, and I don't respond fuck you, and because I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It hits you a certain way, but I don't let it dwell on, I don't dwell on it.
Yeah, some people, don't just go to my basement and draw them on the wall and lipstick. That's fine. It's not a big, it's not, I don't see an issue with
That's not a big deal, right?
I don't see an issue with
we don't remember who 420 LeBron James is the GOAT comment from.
No, but I use it as a thing, because I always thought to myself, in a few years from now, especially because you're not responding to them, because that's what they want. They want you to, that's their thing.
Yeah, they want you to instigate and get
that gets them going.
Yeah,
that gets them going, right? For whatever reason, and they want the back and forth.
Bring it.
I think we only ever handled negative comments with thinking they were hilarious. Remember,
Rick would go back at people more. I wouldn't.
When we had the podcast,
Rick, I don't think is cancelable. I think I'm very cancelable at some point.
Yeah, well, I think when you have the name like Blake Winston Rice, you put a target on your back.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that is.
What do you say it? What is what?
White.
Is it whiter than this shirt?
No, whiter. Yes, whiter than both of your shirts. It's.
Yeah,
that's Blake Winston Rice.
Mine's a little eggshell.
It is eggshell.
Okay,
you're both eggshell right now.
Yeah, no, I get
Style by
Ricky.
Renee.
By the way, Ricky calling me white when his vampire texture right now, his skin tone.
Don't see what he has to do here to make me
himself feel good.
Are you a Richard?
Robbie and
I'm not a Richard.
You're not a Richard.
I'm not a Richard. I'm a Ricky.
Wow, you're a Ricky. Yeah. I was going to say because Richard Ryan is also.
That's a Richard Ryan.
It's rather Caucasian.
It's rather.
No. I'm white, but I'm white trash. That's the difference.
Not white trash.
Bro, I used to get driven in a school bus that my parents owned to school. I don't want to hear what is and isn't white trash from Mr. Winston Rice over here.
Ricky came to school on the school bus with his parents driving the school bus.
Was it short?
Yes, it was a short. My parents owned a school bus.
Yes, they did.
Because they were like gypsies, man. They used to sell toys and old like vintage toys and stuff like that, and go to flea markets and
They
sell.
actually found Ricky is a toy. And they put him in a cupboard at night, and when they turn the key, he becomes a real boy. And so that's
You're mixing.
where he's.
Was this a Indian in the cupboard meets? Can I say Indian in the cupboard anymore? Or is that,
you can't.
You
You
can say what's the?
This is going to be worse. Whatever you're going to say.
I'm trying to think of the
it's
team.
gonna be
No. What's
Commanders in the
Commanders,
cupboard?
yeah.
No, the Indian. No, the
Guardian. The Guardian in the
The
cupboard.
Guardian in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cupboard. There you
Probably
go.
isn't called that. Great movie. Banger.
Great movie.
Banger.
All right, this is what we're gonna do real quick. We're gonna take a break, so I'm gonna get the camera so that we have some more time because we're gonna keep rolling this.
Ricky and I
All right, so
we're gonna
bathroom
go
break.
pee in the same
bathroom break.
toilet.
Yeah.
And compare foam.
Yeah.
Bathroom break. From our bathroom break.
Yeah.
Ricky had diarrhea. I did not.
Yeah, Blake has to check before I flush and make sure because he's still not convinced where he goes. It goes down there forever. He says every
I don't
time.
really know where it goes. So
Yeah,
and
Blake
Rick
forever,
sometimes when things kind of get a little buzzy in my brain, Rick kind of
Whoa,
simplifies.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why he gave me limited internet access.
Exactly. Yeah. And we pool all money. I say so. I run all the money.
Yeah.
We pool it all, and he
Yeah.
has to ask me for bill and help him pay.
Sure, and this was actually this was a lot of red tape for my lawyers. Now they were kind of like, "Who is this other guy?"
And I said, let him talk to me, and that's how the relationship works.
Yeah. So I lost my lawyers and I lost my reps, but now Rick's kind of he's
Rick.
in the controls,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, and so I trust
Just
him.
the way you wanted it. That's how it was designed. No, I did want to touch on your household though.
Let's talk about it.
There's so much. So Blake,
Tell me.
what do you know about Ricky's household? Do you have any idea? Like
Been
his
there.
childhood household.
Been there. Do I know? I hear it's a place of Westwoodian folklore. Many a coming of age tale. How many mid '90s esque
Max and I
origin stories?
Max and I have told this story like a million times, but like the way that Max and I met when we were 5 years old. Max used to live on the end of the block, right? And he had just moved into the neighborhood. I think we were both 5 years old or so, 6 years old. And I was outside and I saw a kid playing basketball all the way down the block, right?
Yeah.
And then he saw me, and then we were just yelled to. It was like, "Hey, do you want to play?" And he goes, "Yeah, let's play. Come down here." And I go, "Okay, let me ask my mom." And I ran inside, and I would ask, and I go, "Hey, can I? There's a kid down there who wants to play. Can I go play with them?" And they were like, "Have him come over here." And then I ran out, and I go, "Hey, can you come over here?" And then he ran into his house, and he sprinted into his house, and he goes, "I can't come over. Can you come over?" And then it was back and forth.
Do you remember? So I have a chipped tooth.
I do, yes.
And it's your fault.
Wait, so
In that scene where you two are yelling, I'm seeing multiple missing teeth out of both kids. Big. If I were to shoot that big gap, hey, nice basketball. Can you come down?
Ricky had a blonde bowl cut, and I had a red mullet.
it's true.
Legit. No, you so you were trying to like having trouble taking your shirt off. And I was taller than you, so I'm yanking and yanking and yanking, and the shirt comes off, and he like came up with the shirt and went right up into my tooth. And so I have a little chip. In the middle
Little
of my
chip,
tooth.
man. Little piece of Rick.
And we called him Little Chip
Little
for
Chip.
a while.
Little
We'd stuff
Chip.
him in lockers,
Yeah.
force him to eat
Little
clay.
No, but we have some like amazing, dude, like it's such a, it's funny when the older you get, like you forget a lot of shit. I remember your house and the experiences in there so vividly. It's insane, dude.
And somebody that lives in the city now, I live in Queens. It's like, and I describe my childhood to my wife, who didn't have an, as like robust, I guess, because we had so many kids in our neighborhood
Yeah,
and
we
everything
had a
like
great
that.
neighborhood.
She's like, you had the most idyllic childhood of like bike riding, water balloon fights, and water gun fights, and
Yes,
manhunt,
yes.
and all that shit.
Yeah.
And like we really grew up in that golden age, I think, in
Bro,
the
it was
90s.
the best. My backyard was amazing because we got to play all the games.
I think I was second all time in home runs. Well,
yeah.
because granted, I played. I was a compiler. I was a compiler.
And you had the corner. Remember?
I had my own territory. I was the only lefty, so I would hit Jack.
Well,
home runs.
Sean would have come up.
True, but he was more of a line drive hitter.
He was, yeah. He was. Sean would go Oppo.
Yeah, Oppo.
No, we had so many good memories, dude. Like your house, so we were saying it when we jumped off before. 2 movies that probably shaped the man I became, for better or for worse.
Oh, yeah.
So I had 2 older brothers that are a lot older, 7 and 8 years older than me. So like our influences were a lot of things that we probably should have been watching at those ages.
and your parents just let things be what they were. They'd be cooking us Elios.
Yeah.
Definitely cooking us Elios.
Oh, shout out to the pod.
Yeah,
Old
our
pod
former sponsor. Yeah, our old
Elio's
we
Pizza.
Wow.
Elios. It gives you the hot
Did you guys have Elio's? We would have Elio's. We would have Elio's was like after school. You're making Elio's at home, but then Friday pizza was like knockoff Elio's. Did you have that
at the
like
cafeteria?
The rectangle in the cafeteria.
Oh yeah,
but it wasn't even as good as Elio's. And it was always like
once a month. It would be Pizza Hut though.
It'd be like 70 degrees.
Yeah,
that pizza.
Well, let me ask you this: how do you like your Elio's? Do you like it like just cooked, or do you like it like charred?
Charred up, baby.
No, it has to be.
And
cooked.
I don't break it. You don't break it into the threes.
No, you do.
That's
The
one
center-
Elio's.
the
No,
center
that's
piece-
one. That's one Elio's.
I agree. You eat an Elio. You eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're eating it with the little ridges.
You're like
underneath.
you eating Elios.
Yeah. I used to throw a little pepperoni on there like it was like I was a 4-star chef, not 5, and would just bang it with some pepperoni to show off.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And pizza Lunchables, I don't know why it is, but I used to have the weirdest quirk when it came to pizza Lunchables. No, whether I ate them cold because you eat them like
You get pizza Lunchables, you're cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was not
Cadillac.
Pizza-able.
But I would do the littlest bit of cheese on one, the littlest bit of cheese on two, and overload the third
To earn it.
To earn it, bro. And I used to have this weird thing, so you cook it in a microwave. So I'd eat them cold too, but I cook them in a microwave. But the cheese would melt over the top, and my favorite part would be I would take a butter knife, and at the end of eating pizza, I'd scrape all the cheese. That was like my favorite bite.
Pizza. What is it called? Lunchables is like a sugar cookie with ketchup. Like it's the red little stick. Lunchables. Asking my mom, we were like brown bagging one of 4 kids.
Yeah.
It was Lunchables was like asking for crack. Like you could never touch.
And then when the nachos came out,
no, that was the coolest kids in school.
But you couldn't even, not even filling too.
No.
It's like kids were like, nachos with salsa and cheese.
No.
Yeah.
The worst one was the.
It's good for you though. That was good for you back then. That's what you needed.
You needed that. That was fuel. Well, we're here today, thriving. But no, the movies, bro.
Yes.
Basketball Diaries, mind you, we were 8.
Yeah. Somewhere in like the 3rd or 4th grade watching
Basketball Diaries and Rocky Horror Picture Show. Mm-hmm. Those 2 movies, I've talked about this many times in my adult life. Rocky Horror Picture Show, bro. I mean, it doesn't end there.
A fever dream,
bro. All the Friday movies, Jake Voorhees, Freddy Krueger. I mean, all of this was a regular.
Now,
occurrence.
most people that are listening to this or watching this probably have heard of most of those movies, but if you don't know about Basketball Diaries, which is a little bit of a deeper cut,
very deep.
Like, and you think, oh wow, Rocky Horror Picture Show, a 8-year-old probably shouldn't be watching that. It's a little tamed compared to Basketball Diaries, which is Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Wahlberg, and Marky Mark.
Good draft class.
They go to private school and they're on the basketball team, and then they get into drugs and they become like junkies on the team.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in this movie where to score money for smack, Leonardo DiCaprio lets a man suck his dick.
Yes.
And we're 8 years old, 8 to 10 years old watching.
Didn't even
this
know
movie. No clue really what was going on.
Didn't even know what a blowjob was.
But my brother was like, "Hey, you guys want to watch this movie? It's about basketball." I was like, well, we love basketball. Let's watch it.
We just yelled it down the street at each other. Who was, when you were little, and it might be you, when you were little, say like this age, a little bit before middle school, who was the stud athlete? Who was the fastest kid?
It's Robbie Doncic over here.
Yeah.
Max. Well, I wouldn't say Max was the fastest kid, but I mean, from the versatility standpoint.
Yeah.
Football, basketball, baseball. I'm not going to say this egotistically, but I would think that when it came down to it, football, baseball, basketball was probably the top guy out of Westwood.
Yeah, I think so.
Where did you leave both
up until like the 6th grade, right? I mean, like
when everybody caught up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where do you have the most like? Oh, I left. I still didn't like. I could have been better. Where do you have the most like? Man, I want to. If I had one more game. What sport would that be? For both of you?
My soccer career didn't end the way I really wanted it to. I got into like
you got addicted to smack and blue and
I got into like a really complicated fight with my coach.
Soccer Diaries.
Yeah.
And he was like, his therapist was like, "Where's this coming from?"
I think the prime time, the most fun playing sports I ever had was like that 6th grade Little League baseball year.
Down at Meadowbrook.
Down at the Meadowbrook, which was the best field. And like, it just like
you were shortstop?
I was second base.
I
played
shortstop.
Yeah, you played every position.
We played pitcher and shortstop more than ever.
I never pitched. I was always second base, lead off, or whatever. Like that was like bunting. That was like my game. Walk, get on. But like I felt like that was like the prime time for Little League baseball.
It
and like
was
and you're also
electric.
You're like at a high level for that age.
It was electric.
Yeah, it was the best.
I remember I had one of the most.
The home run.
The home run, bro. We're down. No, I pitched, right? So, and mind you, like if I was
on Ohtani over here.
Yeah, I am the Ohtani. When I was on the mound, like, you know, we were in good hands. I'll put it that way. Like I could throw hard, right? And I was getting.
This is sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
Do you have different pitches in sixth grade?
Yeah, I threw a curveball too, for sure.
Sometimes, but I mean, like for the most part, you're trying to throw strikes.
If you threw hard, it was tough to
throw
hit.
Strikes.
Correct.
If you could throw hard,
if you could throw hard,
yeah.
Okay.
So, but I was getting hit. So we were down 4-2, top of the sixth. Like we only play 6 innings.
And you play 6 innings too.
Yeah, top of the sixth, bases loaded.
Are you on base? Say it.
Were you on base?
We weren't on the same team.
Oh, we weren't on the same team.
I was on the Indians.
Yes.
Now Guardians.
Now the Guardians.
Hashtag cancel Rick.
Yeah, and Guardians of the Cupboard is my sequel coming out right now. It's been acquired by everyone.
Yeah. No, so I remember Matt Smith was on the mound, and I took the first pitch over the center field wall. Yard. At top of the sixth, and then came out and pitched the bottom, and we won. Yeah, big moment.
Is that your biggest? Is that your biggest sports moment? Did you guys win a state title in?
I think that's probably my biggest sports moment.
No, it's going fucking.
If you're talking like singular, like there's moments that stand out for sure. Like I remember when I played freshman basketball. And mind you, I didn't really grow until into my junior year, like sophomore into junior year. So I was shorter for a second. But I remember going back-to-back games.
He's sitting down. He's a Goliath now.
No, not a Goliath. Nah, 6'1". I wish I was like 6'4" would have been sick. Sports-wise, 6'1" school though. But I went back-to-back games like 40 and 34, and I had like 32 in the first half.
Are you playing varsity as a freshman?
No, this is freshman basketball.
Gotcha.
But the second those two games happened, I went up to JV, and then about the next year I was playing varsity.
You didn't make like the junior high team one year,
I didn't
right?
make the junior high basketball team.
That was like very controversial because like
7th grade.
For like the 12 years prior to that, Max was like the best player on every team.
But I was short and stocky. I don't know why I didn't make it.
Is this right? Did you win Mr. Westwood over Rick?
Oh my God, it's true. I forgot about that. Oh my, we haven't addressed this.
Is this controversial?
So I spoke at Rick's
contest?
wedding and brought this up. He around all you Westwood guys, it was always Rick was Mr. runner up in Rick's.
I would have been happy
in
for you,
Rick's
bro.
bio is runner up Mr. Westwood, and it was as he logged.
Wait, was it really
I
your
heard
bio?
He got smoked.
No, it's not my bio. But we had a COVID wedding, and the day before we had like a little like a cocktail party or something like that, and Blake wrote a speech, and it was actually more of like a poem, right?
It was an ode.
We have that somewhere. It was really nice, and part of it was the runner-up for Mr. Westwood was a nod in there. But I do remember the Mr. Westwood days, and Max did win.
What did you do? What was your?
I went out I had a really, really strong game, but I tanked my own performance in the Q&A and I did it. So, all right. So my talent. So what I did was I came out. My bathing suit was I came out in a Speedo, but then I came out originally crushed. I had a bunch of people carry me out on a deck chair, and I had girls throwing rose petals for me for my entrance, which killed. But my performance is I did the Donkashane and Twist and Shout. Shake It, from Ferris Bueller.
Yes.
And I had like a bunch of people come out and dance with me, and they came in, and it was really good. But I remember I had a question. It was like some stupid question. It was like, what would Westwood's fight song be? And I totally ignored the question, and I did this line from Futurama that I thought was really funny, where I told this story that made so sense.
Right,
and it was a joke. It was a joke just for my brother.
You lost my vote,
and I lost.
Now.
And I lost. Yeah.
I don't think I did well in the Q&A either. I think it was. I don't remember the question, but I didn't fare well.
I remember
you bring up
talked about your ass.
at any point, because that probably would have hurt your chances.
I didn't. No, so it was either going to be me or Rick. Like when push came to shove, as far as who did what and how it went. I remember I had moments that definitely stood out the same way you did, but that made it tough for you to, because when Anthony came out in a dress, that was like a
right.
So I had my best friend and Jen, who I was dating at the time. Both come out from both sides, so you have like who walks you out, and so he had his where he got carried, right? And I squeezed Anthony in Jen's mom's dress, and he was our like elite football player, and Jen smacked him, and like that was my entrance. And then similarly, I did a dance scene. I did flash dance.
Yeah. And
I was in like a leotard and not leotard, spandex and like leg warmers and a cutoff sweater, wig, and I did the whole flash dance scene, pretty much improv with my 4 guys in the back, and they were the judges. And then at one point they took their clothes off, and we're in spandex, and they came out. But what's funny, nobody knows this. I'll actually share this because nobody knows. I've never disclosed this. We were fried.
Yeah.
We were so fried.
Fried, you were high?
Wait, controversy?
Yes.
Did Max?
We got him.
Was he on steroids?
We got him.
Finally, they're going to revoke?
Yeah.
Bro,
the 2007 Mr. Westwood crown has been transferred over.
You know how much Rick's been hitting me up to get on this show just so he can lampoon you on the air?
Yeah, all right, that's it. No more. No, we were fried, bro. We did like a little pregame, and we were lit. We were so lit. And it probably made it better, you know?
That's so cool, so ballsy. These are the guys you two are still. You know, you got to keep that in mind. Don't give a shit about anything but having fun with yourself. I'm learning this too in work. Like, there's all this like inspirational Instagram-y, clippy stuff about directing. You can see, don't wait for the cavalry and all that stuff, and it's great. But I really am seeing every time I do stuff on my own with nothing, with no one telling me to do it, the industry knocks and says, what's up? This is cool. Yeah. And that kind of energy, like we were talking about, like, sure. You just guys were just like, this is awesome. I'm having a blast with my friends. I think the audience is going to get in on this fun.
Yeah.
That's the essence that you're capturing right now again.
That's the realest shit ever. That is the truth, bro. Every time that anything has ever really, really worked, like there's certain things you don't reinvent the wheel, you know, like you pay attention to what works to a degree, but if you just, they don't know what's going to work if it's never been done. If it's completely original.
And it's like you said, it's a lecture. Like you were all having so much, just this instance in a bottle. You were all having so much fun. We want to get in on that fun.
Yeah.
This podcast looks like a blast. We want to get in on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We want to root for it. We want to be a part of it.
Correct.
And people are going to want to watch that.
Correct.
And feel that secondhand.
Correct.
And nothing else matters. If you're having a blast in something, we're having a blast making a sketch, it doesn't matter how it does.
Yeah.
Cold Read, we just had a blast. We got better as writers. We didn't care if it got out. Like T, I have been doing film festivals, getting nowhere with them, but like I was getting little names in my stuff. It was helped me. It was just the product was getting better. I was having a blast with the people we were making it with. I don't care if it did festivals.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Look what happens when
that's when it happens. Yeah. That's when it clicks. What made you get into like the acting and film world? Like where was it? What has that inspired that?
I was knowing my family does. Yeah, my mom's side comes from like musicians. There's like some musicians in there, but no one like in the business at all. I went to a summer camp when I was little, and they had theater, all guys camp, and like the cool kids, the athletes and everything, the popular kids at the camp did theater and did plays, and that was like it was cool, and it wasn't the people, you know, and like you play sports, and you know what people say about the theater kids and stuff, and you're playing sports growing up. And
what do they say, Blake? This is the plot of Sing Sing. You're just telling us right now, I think.
They say not great things. And when you're a little kid and impressionable, you're like, oh, I don't want to be made fun of.
Right.
But then I saw guys write sketches, be funny with them. Like they would sit down like this, write a sketch, and then would go do it for 100 people, and then everyone would laugh, and it broke my brain. I never stopped doing that. And then at 16, my parents got me a little handy cam, and I made kick in the crotch videos with my buddies on the weekends, and then started pitching to my teachers to do video projects instead of essays or whatever, because I wasn't a great student. That became like, and I was also playing lacrosse and like gonna like play lacrosse in college, but I was only, no, Hofstra showed me love, but I couldn't, wouldn't have played. And you can't have hollow bones and play D1. So I wanted a school that like had lacrosse and also a good film department, because I just loved it. It never felt like work. It still doesn't feel like work. Getting paid for the first time to direct now, or getting my stuff acquired, is like, it's still like, man, I feel like I'm getting away with something.
Yeah.
But that's how I always got into it. I just truly.
What about like, do you find, because it seems like, I mean, I guess T has a little bit of this, but it does feel like a lot of the directions of the shorts that you do are away from the comedy, which is where a lot of the stuff that you started from. And I think there's something to be said about the high of the laughter when you're part of it and you're in it, and it's probably what you first became so addicted to. So what is it about? Why have you steered that way? I mean, I see you're still doing that, but why you steer towards dramas when it comes to shorts?
I think, well, I don't really even think I don't even write for a genre, which sounds like it's corny, but like I'm trying to talk about life right now. And I think it's funny as hell. I think it's sad as hell. I think it's stressful as hell. And I think it's perilous and action-packed and all the stuff. And I think great movies hit all of those.
Yeah.
There's jokes in Jaws. There's jokes in Jurassic Park.
Subtle, yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and,
subtle.
And I think I like learning how to, and it's also harder. Like I want to talk about all that, but to get a laugh, I think it's just, if you can elicit a laugh, you can elicit something else for sure. And that's a cool challenge. And I'm into it, and, and I think
if you're earning a laugh in those movies too, it pays off, right? Like where, some of our less subtle sketches that we used to do where like they were kind of like thrown right at you. But I can think of some of these really funny moments in your shorts where like, like the realness that you're talking about when you get those laughs, it definitely pays off for sure.
And it's also part of getting you gotta, to earn the laugh, okay, like to get a real laugh that's really like, not just like a whatever fart joke or something, you got to establish some real pain points off the top. There's some strategy and math to getting that audience on your side, to invest in this character, to understand their perspective, to get on the ride for this bit. And then also once the bit's over, I'm kind of like, all right, well, that's done. Let me see if I can get the audience now on this thing. Let me see if I can believe this love story. And I love just messing with those meters.
The emotions, pulling on people's heartstrings. I'll tell you, like because you sent it to me. I hadn't seen it yet. I watched it last night. You know what? It's deeper than what's on the surface. Like that. That's what I love about film in general. Like I like when, all right, you have your plot, you have the obvious thing, like, right. So I know the plot of that, right? Yeah. But there's when you've been through experiences, when you've understood life and the layers of it and the feelings you get from all these various different things that happen, like there's more to what I watched than what maybe a high school kid might say. Like, well, what is this? I thought it was really, really well done.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it put a lot together in a short.
Thanks.
Yeah,
it really proud of it, and it's opened like insane doors for me. Got me in the room for the first time at a different level I've never been exposed to, and crazy.
Does that excite you?
Yeah, bro. Like
we're thinking sequel, the T-quel? T2, the T-quel?
T2 was taken. I'm gonna go right to T3. No, it really it the day that news came out that I got in a can. I didn't have any reps. I got hit by reps for the first time. I got hit up by studios for the first time. I got people asking about real length movies and financing and all that for the first time. And I got reviews. I got like it was all.
How many people get submitted for something like how many submissions are there to be? How does that work? I'm pretty unfamiliar.
You can basically like college. You make a movie. It can be a short film. It can be a feature. And there's all these different tiers of film festivals all across the world. And most of them are done through a platform, almost like college submissions. It's called Film Freeway. You upload your movie, its specifics, and then you can see which festivals are open and you can submit if you qualify for the certain stuff. And then there's some other ones outside that platform that are like the monster prestigious ones. But you submit, and most people use you go through sales agents to submit to some, or like the biggest ones, or you go through PR and that kind of thing. And for Cannes, I just did it alone, man. Talk about being at a weird spot. I was out of a relationship, struggling to find, still not getting director work, but still, spending all my money on one short a year, hustling for work as much as I could. Moved out of Queens, moved into my buddy's beach house. I'm back applying for bartending jobs again a year ago, and trying to find my place. I take a meeting with my neighbor who's a headhunter, being like, should I be a recruiter? Should I do this? I sit down at this meeting last winter, and he's like, yeah, I can get you a job, but are you ready? Like, if they're in a meeting, they're like, hey, this film thing going to come up. Can you give 100% of this new career if I, a real starting salary? And I was like, oh, yeah, I think I could. And literally on my drive home, I'm driving home, I see my parents at a diner. I see their car out front. I pull into the diner, and I'm like, yo, I'm moving to LA. I'm I want to be Spielberg. I'm going after this, and I need to say this out loud, probably for myself too, but I need you to just know, and just for how supportive my folks were. They were like, let it rip. You crash out, you got a place to stay here.
That's awesome, dude.
And that was a year ago, and in that phase, I had submitted to Cannes on just some random night with my buddy at my buddy Mike's place, being like, and Cannes is like so lofty. So I was like, the wind could have blown. There could have been a great commercial break, and I decided to do it in the West Coast Laker game, like whatever game I was watching, and decided to do it. And then I'm like maxing out credit cards, moved to LA, trying to sell my furniture and stuff, and I get out there, and like a month later, this news breaks, changes it like
wow.
that.
Is Cannes? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like there's Sundance, Cannes.
Yeah, no, I've heard of Sundance.
But the Cannes is like, you remember in Entourage?
Yeah.
When they get into Cannes and Kanye takes them over?
Got you.
See,
just like that.
We can speak we can speak in just Entourage references too if you need.
all day.
That's how we translate a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy that happened to you, because I just feel like, you watch some of these actors roundtables. Have you ever watched those on Variety or whatever it is? Those types of stories are littered everywhere, where everybody thinks that they're right when there's a lot of people are right up against that wall where they're like, you know what, I'm going to turn around. There's like, if you just kept digging one more inch.
Oh, that one meme.
That meme, right? Where the diamonds are right there and you turn around.
The guy on top who's this close.
And he turned it's like he's digging
through the mine.
And there's the mine, and he turns around.
But right at the edge is the big diamond.
But every I also wasn't, there were so many opportunities. I'm sure you felt this. You guys have felt this too. There were so many opportunities that I had that I was not ready for at the time. So it's like, I'm looking back like, of course I didn't get into that fast. Of course that meeting didn't go well. Yeah. Of course that network didn't want me. I was not ready at all. And when T happened, I was like, and I was also ready, good to, I could make moves off this the right way. I did have features that were ready, and I had to write 1,000 crappy scripts to be ready for this one opportunity with this, producer, whoever, to really take off. But I needed to earn my stripes, and I'm still
And 10 years from now, you're going to be looking back at 35-year-old Blake, and you'll be like, what was I thinking then too?
Yeah,
you're going to be so much more advanced, I think, at that point too. Thinking about what you said too, is all your scripts are you 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it's
I'm just starting.
I have I think it is a funny concept that's never been done.
Hit me.
You want to hear it?
I'll play executive though.
Okay.
Poke holes.
All right. So to mind you,
thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
So mind you, this was.
Get your feet. Can you get your feet off?
I'd be on the phone.
Is this what you do?
Is it? Yeah.
Hold on, I still.
They would call this a. They call this a general.
A general.
She'd be like, hey, your reps would be like, hey, I set you up with a general at X studio, X production company.
Okay.
They're unsure about your script, but
XX Studios.
They want to meet you. They want to, this is XXX Hamster. They call it a general, and you'd be like, they're on the fence on your script. They want to meet you in person.
Gotcha. So you got to almost sell them, push them over the.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll preface this by saying this came about right after our flag football championship. And we dove deep into we were thinking of it as obviously what actors would play each person, right? So, okay. The concept, and this is literally what happened in our season. It's the last game of the year. We're 4-4.
Okay.
I get hurt. I pop my hamstring. So I'm the quarterback. And the idea was Will Ferrell. Everybody was laughing about it, right? So I pop my hamstring. I go off the sidelines. Guys, I'm done. Yeah. Everybody makes the playoffs, but I'm done. So the week goes by. They're trying to convince me to play. I'm like, nah, dude, kids, the family, I just can't do it. There's no shot, And I come out on Sunday. I get a text message, on Saturday from my buddies. They're like, yo, if you can come out and just play, you'll be better than anybody else. Even if you can't move, I'd rather you sit in the pocket and throw.
Yeah, the Jets did this though and didn't work out. All right,
so
yeah. Did you run out with an American flag?
No. So I go out. Right, I go out. I'm throwing the ball in warm-ups, and I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel good enough to throw, but I need you guys to really block. I don't think I'm going to be able to move and run. We go out. We played a team that we lost to in a championship the year before, first round of playoffs.
They're dirt bags, by the way.
They talked a ton of shit, and we beat them 42-18.
Gee.
Smoked them, right? So I go into
ran it up the gut too. Right? No passes.
I had a couple of runs that were a couple of runs that I shouldn't have ran.
Push.
So we go into the next game. Next game is against the undefeated Cheetahs. We beat the Cheetahs, right? We beat the Cheetahs, right? On a last play breakup, and we go into the championship, and we wound up winning the championship on a flag pull at the last play of the game, and we win. And the concept was like, instead of it being us young, whatever, you would make it like it's like a over 40 flag football league, and you have these run of the mill.
You would do it like I would say, hell yeah. You have to do it like a real sports movie. Like you need to film you need to shoot the shit out of it. You make it remember the Titans.
Unnecessarily like sports driven, but comedy, funny.
Yeah.
Like we were going
like tag maybe
similar to that. Yes. Like, but we laughed so hard for a half hour going through each person. Like
you would get meetings on the script. If you had
there's no flag football movie.
Yeah. If you're like, I have a flag football movie.
I have a flag football movie.
But you have to write it.
That's the problem. I mean, it's not a problem. I don't know how to.
Oh, that is the problem.
No, it is the problem. But I mean, I don't know how to.
Easy,
like, I don't know
use AI. That's everyone. That's what I would do.
Oh, dude, AI, you can write anything.
True.
You can also just lie.
I need an hour and a half long movie script.
I'm working on a sports movie.
Are you?
And it can cut through. It's like having a great idea.
Yeah.
Like a sports one, it does go. Flag football movie would be cheap. Good cheap. You need stars, older stars.
Dude, we were going into like, and this is, mind you, this is different level of stars, but like Will Ferrell was the quarterback, right? You had Cedric the Entertainer playing Dennis Scott. You had right. Yeah,
wow, nice name drop.
We have a very like a good looking big wide receiver, this white guy. We were like Channing Tatum all day, and then we're going down the line, and it's fun. It was fun. Method Man and Redman are the two. Like it was, the more and more we went down the rabbit hole of who played who, and mind you, we're looking at each other, so it's funny.
Yeah.
We're like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. It's like what's the longest yard?
Longest yard. Beer league.
What's the Artie Lang? What's the Artie
Beer
Lang?
league. Beer league.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. I honestly think that's a great idea.
It's funny. What's the one? It's like the Spanish guy who's in like he plays that. He's a funny guy. He's in all the movies. He's like,
is he? Shouldn't have had that popcorn.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. He's just like a comedy funny guy.
Look, Robbie and I, we're two quarterbacks.
He's
pretty much.
Hey, I play quarterback. He's the guy that's in The Longest Yard, and he's in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Should have that popcorn.
I think he's Italian though. I think he's like a big Yankee fan, or something. I forget.
Early 2000s Hollywood was very comfortable blurring that line.
True. Yeah, but yeah, that's my. Maybe I'll write it. Maybe I'll come up with something.
Write it. The one thing that drives me nuts with people telling me ideas in movie scripts,
they don't do anything with it.
It means nothing.
So I watched this. I saw this post. The guy who the episode we're dropping today, right? He's fantastic. This guy Phil, man. He's really, really interesting guy.
I'd say the best guest you've ever had on the pod, probably.
Second.
Yeah, second.
So
you're third, I think.
I was fourth place, and they don't talk about the fourth place Mr. Westwood. And I didn't know there was a swimsuit portion of the show.
He had the Bobby Valentine mustache in the crowd. But so he posted this thing because now he's popping up on my feed, of course, and he posted this thing, and it was like something about ideas, right? So like everybody, So everybody has ideas and they throw them. They were like, don't talk about your ideas. Don't just talk about them, right? Because there's a term for it. It's like a dopamine something kick that you get when you share your ideas. You get that quick little fix of what it is that they're. So it's just literally all about execution. Like, who gives a shit about what the fuck your idea is? That's why, like, somebody said this to me a long time ago, and it really it's something that sticks with me a lot. That the most expensive place on earth, the most wealthy place on earth, is the graveyard. It's a fact, by a landslide. All the people that have brilliant thoughts, things that would change so much, whether it be worldly or the best movie or whatever, just literally they did nothing with it.
Right. I think that's just like fear of failure, right? Fear of putting yourself out there for a lot of these things.
I think fear of putting yourself out there, probably. Fear of failure is a thing for sure.
Fear it's not good, or imposter syndrome.
It's just fear, bro. Fear is most people's kryptonite. They're fearful. And then when you really think about it, like, fearful of what? Like you're fearful of the unknown, you know, and I get it. People want to be safe. They want to stay in a space where like they don't have to deal with whatever, you know. If you've ever
and when you start out, you're not good. So
yeah, but if you ever push that envelope of fear, like if you ever pushed through that a few times, you realize nothing matters, bro.
Yeah, to people like you.
Correct, but you have to do it once. You have to do it twice, maybe a third time, and really feel how much it doesn't matter.
I'm just playing devil's advocate on the other side.
People forget is that like you might even have a blip that isn't a good look, or it didn't fare well. You know, and I'm telling you, people think that everybody's thinking about them.
Yeah, they know.
You're not. Nobody's thinking about.
Nobody cares about that. And I think that's the most common. That's the most common thing where I'm like, that interaction you have with that person that you're ruminating over all day, they haven't thought about it since that conversation that you had, and it's all in your own head. That was what you were talking about earlier with the haters or whatever, and you were talking about, are there really that many haters or are there that doubters, or are the doubters inside you?
Yeah, I think that's something you always, and you need to be constantly like kind of ego checking yourself too. You know, like, oh, is people going to think this about me? No. And even if they do, you know, one of the things that I remember when I was coming up as an artist that really, it's the thing that we were talking about earlier, like I miss having this mindset. But like, I remember when Instagram came out, for instance, I didn't know what the hell it was. All I knew is that it was a place that you're going to see me 3 times. I didn't care how good I was. It was not about any of that. Like my objective here is to be seen, to be noticed, to be recognized. It didn't matter. I didn't care whether you liked me or you didn't. You were going to see me. And it goes back to me saying, you know, in 2 years from now, it didn't matter what your thought was then because I'm going to be further along. Do you still write raps?
Oh yeah. Oh, I got some shit. You want to hear some shit?
You still write raps?
I'm going to show you something.
Rick, do you still write raps?
I will. This guy's our guy.
How's it going? I feel like you have to put like a little speaker outside that plays what the podcast is doing.
You should get
an on-air sign too. That'd be pretty sick.
I want to show you something, right? So I've actually never shared. Oh shoot, I've never shared this yet. So I have this idea to come back in music with this, and it's my story, basically in a nutshell. Fuck, why do I keep doing that? It's my story in a nutshell, and you're gonna be able to hear through the headphones, and it'll actually bleed into the thing too. So this will be the first time anybody's heard it. I wanted to like unveil it. There's our guy right there.
He wanted to talk to us. He said he asked if we could talk to us for a second. I said no.
Good.
He knocked on the window and he said, "Can we talk to you for a second?"
No,
I'm like,
chill.
Do we not look like we're recording a fucking podcast, guy?
I know,
Give me a break. And you know what? I hope he watches this because all the things I would have said to him if he had come in here, and I would have taken it, and I would have thrown him. I'm stalling right now.
Have you guys seen my attorney? He's kind of bumbling around outside.
You guys almost done?
Yeah.
Blake's got somewhere to be. So this is rap. So I actually been going more like country pop, rock, like an album. I've been wanting to put out an album. It's still very story driven, but so I wrote this, and it was funny. It was a day after I spoke with one of my buddies, and they were like, "Yo, you rap, bro. Like you need to go back to this." And I said, if I'm gonna do it, I need to talk. I don't want it to just be like bars and whatever.
Dude, I call this like command. Like I needed to make a ton of shitty movies. Not shitty, but like some that like the directing wasn't there. I didn't have any command of story, and I didn't know what I was saying. It took a lot of life and a lot of failure and a lot of learning on projects. I have like just start to learn about talking on something. It seems like this is what you're referencing.
Yeah. So like I'm gonna unplug this just so it doesn't. One sec.
He's gonna go talk to that guy.
Are you gonna stop rolling?
No. I don't want to unplug it so it doesn't get
too hot.
Because you're about to just drop fire.
too much fire.
Are you nervous about the fire of the sprinklers right now?
Pretty much.
I think that meme is so funny.
Which one?
It's so dark, but it's always like it's the meme of like people driving past flaming car accidents and saying, "Damn, I can't believe they just played my mixtape."
Oh yeah, that is great. It is good though. It's tough because you know it's not a good situation.
Any big natural disaster, anything. Yeah, I feel bad. They shouldn't have played my mixtape.
So yeah, so this was a beat. This was DDG's guy, DDG, and Tory Lanez happened to come out with a verse, and he was talking his shit. Like he was talking.
Was he on the pod?
Tory Lanez?
Yeah.
No. Tory Lanez? No, he's in jail.
Okay.
So Tory Lanez is like in jail, and he did this verse from jail, and it was deep, and it was like heavy. Yeah. And so off the cuff of this, off the heels of this conversation that I had with my buddy, I'm like, I just pulled up the beat. And I haven't really, I've told my story a couple times on the podcast, but I was like, if I could put this on wax and go hard, that's how I would come back. And then I'd go to like country pop and rock, but I'd leave people with this. So this is it.
Kind of. I always envy that in music.
This is gonna play through our headphones.
Yeah, you can hear it through the headphones.
Oh damn.
Rick's still confused on how to.
Oh, like I don't know the science behind it. What's the science? Blake, for Blake, can you explain how this works?
So this is like my story, but it's tough. I think it's tough.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
this shit is hard.
I'm tired of holding back how I feel, just so you and yours could go make a deal. Think that I won't, but I promise I will, and teach you a lesson like I'm Uncle Phil. Tired of holding back what's the truth. They happy I disconnected from the boot. They know I get loose like a kid with his tooth. They look mine in his eyes, trying to do what I do. Fuck the switches and bitches, I'm different. My vision is vivid, I'm livid, cause I know that I'm living proof. You could come from the birds and go spit you a verse and make all of the gangsters protect you and shoot. 30 Bloods and Crips unite on the bus, and I'm on the stage screaming fuck it, it's sus. Can't imagine what my mom and dad was thinking while I was in it, but boy what a rush. Marshawn Lynch, they know I'm a beast. When you at your bread, you gon' rise like the yeast. Time for the dog and me to break the leash. Been living rent free in your mind, it's time to break the lease. Sheesh, just talk to T. Told him I'll do it if he remain free. Let's trade bars for bars. You have to sell it for me, just send me the beats. 7 years ago, a label came to me. They want me to sign for a cool $250,000. Not $1 in my pocket, just marketing budget. I know I'm a star, we gon' kill. Pick me up in a Maybach, seats with the layback, on the way to have a meal. 2.5 hours in, go ask Witty if she thought that your boy was a steal. Kind of a flex, but this was the catch. They wanted me, nothing to do with the rest. Imagine you had to go make the decision to put it on pause and come back with a check. All of the loyalty, all of my boys looking at me like I hope it works or it's death. One have been calling, I'm stalling, cause this is the first time a bomb was put to the test. Thought about Jan, engaged about to wed. Harder to work, I put in for no bread. Living two lives, about to combine. This is the moment I had in my head. This is the time, this would define all that I am and all that I've been. Put in the work. Yeah, so that's pretty much, that's like the first, nobody's ever heard it yet.
That was fire. I felt like I was Gata and you were Dave dropping. If you ever watched that, I was like, but there was just, I would just flash back to 15 years ago when we interviewed Childish Gambino and he freestyled and I was just like the white guy dancing in the middle with no rhythm trying to keep up.
Dude,
there.
what are you talking
And there's
about?
no way that clip isn't going to look, you guys are going to look cool and I'm going to be like,
No. That was great.
Ricky's looking at us like, what
felt
do I do?
Like, what's the Get Rich or Die Trying? They have that very spoon-fed quote in that movie. He's like, "You sound different." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "There's pain in your voice now." I think there's some truth in your voice now.
There is. There is.
I envy the ability of musicians to have so much control and to release stuff. You know,
yeah, but you do it in your own way.
I can't put T out right now. You know, which is also.
Oh,
like
I see what you're saying.
Like,
I see what you're saying.
I can't just release it or put it out or get like it just takes so much longer to make a movie than it does one track.
Correct. You know, it's funny with the artist thing and wanting to drop music, but like I have a lot of really good music that I'm excited about. Like I really, really like it. It's different, but because I know so much and because I get so into the weeds of the marketing and the it's like I get in my own way. And part of me is just like, who gives a fuck, bro?
right.
None of that will be good if the music isn't good first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of that. Just talk to my buddy Jim, who's a great director and an actor, and he's got 1,000 projects going. He's got all these different movies, acting roles, really popping off, and he made his own series that he has coming out. And he goes, none of that will be needs what I'm getting paid for and what these deals are coming in for if this thing that I don't put all my attention into first crushes it. And it's you got to compartmentalize
Correct.
that. Like
Correct.
you're thinking about the other stuff, which is good. And I get stuck in this stuff too. I'm like, I'm thinking about press and close and promotion and the meetings and
Clothes
all
are
that stuff.
important for you.
It was very important. And it really, what matters the most is making good movies. None of that.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah,
stuff
it's too much. It's too much. So like going back to what we were talking about when we were off camera in that little break, it's right now it's like the podcast.
Yeah.
Stay there, do it. Like all this stuff is sitting, right? And that's, you know, there's a part of me that wants to just start doing it, but there's a lot that's going to come. It's going to take away from what I think is necessary for me to do right now. To get myself into a space where, you know, you start getting the attention back. And I don't care about like whatever happens with this is what happens. But like you do it for a purpose. Like I'd love to do this and make this is what I do for life, of course. You know what I mean? Build my brand and do all, of course. But the time will come when like
It will.
Of course it will. I know.
I just think like
it's
putting yourself out there is just, I think, what I admire the most, and going for it. And like that's why I've always been a cheerleader of yours on the side. Is as somebody that's put myself out there, and you've done it before, and then you're still doing it. I think I just, at the very root of it, I just respect you doing it, continuing.
I appreciate
to do it,
that.
yeah.
I don't even. I enjoy it. It's like I enjoy it. I do all the editing. I do everything because. People might say, you're wasting your time. You're doing like, yo, I'm telling you, like when I'm doing this, when I dump the footage, when I do the editing, when I see the clips or I'm making them, and I love all of it.
It's like wasting your time. What else? How else are you going to be spending?
Yeah,
you love doing this. It's not a waste of your time.
You should be sports betting and lying to your wife about it. That's what we need to be doing. Okay.
It's funny though because people really have an idea. Like they, and this is part of the thing that makes people question themselves too. Is like, and why you also shouldn't share all of your ideas. Like just go and be and do, because people will take their opinions and like, yo, you're overthinking what you know when you lay your head down at night and you're sure of yourself.
Yeah.
Now you're letting that fucking person who told you,
right?
Well, why?
If you were, this is kind of unrelated, both of you. If you were to make fun of yourself, if you were standing across from yourself and you wanted to roast yourself right now, for the moves you've made in life,
oh man,
what would you jab at?
Ooh,
this doesn't have to be deep cuts.
Yeah.
I think what I would say to myself is I would say the line that from Rounders, where Matt Damon,
and we had the over under at quoting Rounders at
where Matt Damon says to John Turturro in the scene where he goes, you see all the angles, but you're too much of a pussy to take them. That's how I would roast myself, where it's like, oh, you think you know everything, and you see all these things and you can do all these critiques, but you're at this point now.
Are you taking your own advice?
No, that's why I'm roasting myself, I think. I would say like doing this would be me seeing that angle and going for it, but I would think that would be it. Like just off the top of my head, trying to figure out the answer for that.
I think for me, it's being like too aggressive and argumentative about things that just don't matter. Like I would probably rip myself if I was looking at myself from like a bird's eye view. I'm imagining how aggressive and passionate I get about people's opinions in the moment,
and they just don't.
What the fuck am I even arguing about?
Yeah. What do you say? Wasting oxygen? Like, what are you wasting? Oxygen
don't give it oxygen.
I'm a very passionate person, right? So like, and it's I'll have people that'll tell me, oh, you argue. You love to argue. Like, yo, the truth is, I don't feel like I ever stir the pot. I just don't. I've never shit on. Not say I haven't. Like behind closed doors, I'm sure I do talk about people. We all do to some extent. But like, I don't go to anybody and say, oh, you're this. I actually big people up. Like I love that shit. I root for people. But the second all right. So if I have an opinion, as I've said this in the podcast, if I have an opinion, you have an opinion, and you want to bring up your opinion, and I give you my insight, and you tell me I'm a lunatic and I'm an asshole, right? And what am I talking about? Well, I'm going to start going down my bullet points. And
how far will you go down when like you start losing facts?
No,
how comfortable are you losing facts in an argument?
When I feel I've lost the argument, I will be like, you know what, you're right.
So you'd roast yourself for overcooking.
What happens is the people that I argue with, most people don't give in. Most people won't say, oh, you know what, that makes sense. Yeah. Because in my opinion, when it comes to arguing, when it comes to any bit of back and forth between two different opinions, it's like, obviously there's a common ground that can be met. We don't have to agree across the board, but there's a common ground. So like, I want to learn what you have to say. I hope that you want to learn what I have to say, or at least hear what I have to say. Yeah. If you don't, then what are we even doing? Because I'm not going to walk away the same. I'm not going to walk away. You're right. Just for feeling, you better make me feel like what you're saying has validity and can change my opinion. And I'm open to that.
Okay.
Most people won't. What they'll do is they'll veer and they go, oh yeah, but bro, you're a fuck. Last week you were drunk as fuck. You look like an idiot. Like they go in another direction. Now you start pissing me off. And now
you make it personal,
And now you start bothering me. It's like, you know what, dude? What, for the rise of the 4 people that are watching us talk right now?
Oh, we only have 4 people watching us?
On live, Instagram live.
That shit irks me. So like, if I were to roast myself, it'd be stop caring. so much about those. Like you probably look ridiculous.
It's a bad look.
It is.
You know, like you're falling for this. You're getting got.
Yeah, and now they know they can do it.
Yeah.
The people that like, especially my closest friends, they know how to get, push my buttons and get a rise out of me.
Yeah. You I would say the Westwood contingent they're great roasters. I think you guys have roasting for sport.
We hurt feelings, I think, and I think everyone in Westwood has pretty thick skin when it comes to our dynamic and how we rip each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all jokes. You're all a joke.
Yeah.
All your Westwoodians are a joke. Dave Cord, joke. Kurt RC, joke.
Yeah.
Scotty Via Piano, joke. Shasta, joke.
Yeah.
Holla at you. Brian, holla at you, joke.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Who's on the hit list?
No, it's
who else wants it?
And to go deeper into that, like
what are you calling? We're gonna have a rap beef now.
Both Seagulls can come get it too.
Wow, we need to like set up that'd be a cool thing, a Westwood roast off of just like
we used to do roasts.
A March Madness. No, like
I
a
feel
March
like guys
Madness.
think
a roast off, like a one-on-one.
Guys think roasting is a good idea. We used to do it in my hometown buddies, very similar group, and we would every fantasy draft, I would put out every superlatives, and we would vote superlatives. But the jokes were like they were insanely rough, like most likely to die alone, most like biggest pillhead, like biggest yeah. But they'd be like funny and over the top. We got to it like mid-20s, and one or two of the guys like pulled me aside. He goes, I don't want to vote on like most likely to die of an STD.
Yeah.
Can we go back to like best eyes?
In college, we used to do roasts all the time, and we were having so much fun. We'd have like huge groups
because guys show affection. It's the only way guys can show affection. I care enough. I know about you, and I want to show other people that I know stuff about you and invest in your life, and so I can make fun of you. 100%. And we're cool with that.
There's something awesome about that.
Thus. We are friends.
But we also were roasting people that were in the crowd. And then I felt like the last roast we did, we started doing some really mean jokes and people that weren't even there or given a chance to defend themselves. And I was like, this isn't fun anymore. These are just mean, and we're just hurting people's feelings, and we're in our 20s now. We can move on.
Yeah.
Our comedy was always make fun of us.
Right.
It's the best thing you can make, to be able to make fun of yourself. Yeah.
Confident idiots is really what I think we did a lot.
In growing in stand-up, I would every once in a while like touch a joke and it'd be like, that laugh didn't. I got that laugh, but that was low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good one. Like
stand-up's tough, man.
Yeah, stand-up was crazy.
It's tough, but it is. I mean, you've performed live. I think it's like the highest high you can get is being on a stage and having people laugh at your jokes.
I think that's the biggest. Yeah, even more than being an artist. I feel like if you can control a room with talking and lightening the mood and letting people be free of all of their shit for this half hour, whatever it is, 20 minutes. I think that there's something wild about that. It's like a show, but it's different because music moves you where you can lean on it.
Yeah. I remember doing this show, like the last show I ever did, we did it. I was probably in front of 100 people at my old office because we used to sell tickets to these for promote, and there were like legitimately like top tier New York City stand-up comedians that were also doing this show. And because I was part of producing it, I got to just be like one of the openers for it. Right. And I'm just going up there so nervous leading up to it and getting on stage, like all of that gets wiped away. And then once you get the first laugh, it is like just so addicting.
There's a relief, I could imagine. Is what we're going to do. Because I definitely am running out of time, unfortunately.
Let's do it. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I want, first of all, love you guys.
This is a blast.
This is great catching up.
Yeah.
And let's do it again. Like, whenever you guys are around, if you're ever here, like, let's just jump on and talk. I mean, this is cool, man.
Probably like tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably tomorrow.
What time is it?
Sunday.
It's 1 p.m.?
And then Sunday, too. We'll probably do that. Yeah. And then I think like Monday works for us, too. Is there any other days?
Nothing but time, brother.
Yeah.
Time.
And if you don't even have to be here, we'll probably just do it ourselves.
Like a Ricky podcast.
Yeah.
We got the space.
No, thanks so much for having on. The second this came up, not only just for you, well, actually, yeah, just for you, I'm like so happy for it. Like, I really think, I think you're a beast. I think you're insanely talented. I think you're an amazing person, but also I think you're an artist finding your pocket. And that takes 1,000, it can take forever, and it's a consistent journey. And this pod, I think, is for right now for you is such a great move.
It feels right. I appreciate you saying that and even recognizing it, because it deep down feels good.
I'm a fan. I want in. Like, it looks fun from afar, and it's a blast being on it, and that's
appreciate it.
I think that's going to catch fire.
And I think just the studio is really nice. I think you did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I've got some help, so like shout out to my wife for helping me design.
One of our source points was like we used to have people come to Queens and like had to go through like either a dance studio or like a dungeon space or Blake's apartment or something like that.
This is a blessing, man. A big shout out to Art for like. Even giving me the opportunity to do this in his
There's that one room with all like the chains and the leather. What room was that?
What was that about?
Yeah. Stop.
It was nice to poop in the ladies' room too when I was in here. I haven't done that in forever.
They didn't like it. They didn't like it at all. But Rick has his. It was in his rider, honestly. But thanks for accommodating him because he's a precious talent to have back on camera.
Nah, it's good catching up with you, but I haven't talked to you guys in a long time, so I'd like to do this and.
You don't answer our phone calls. You ever hear like heavy breathing on the other side and hang up real quick late at night? That's sus.
I mostly stay up to date with Max through your flag football highlight reels. So I
want to ask you guys. I could go for hours asking you guys Westwood sports stories.
One more, go.
Because we got to cut this promo here, Blake.
Okay. Were you better at basketball or football? What's the sports stream in? You have the sports stream.
He said he has to go, and you just opened up like a 20-minute can of worms.
I'll keep it short. So I think baseball would probably have been a sport that I never should have stopped playing. I think that probably would have been my best bet to take it anywhere.
Okay.
And
what position you play?
I would say pitching and shortstop, like. Honestly, anywhere in the field I could play.
You were third base, but I remember when Max hadn't played baseball in years, and then we had that 18 and older league that we all did in college, and then he picked up I don't know the last time you pitched, and then you came out there and threw like high 80s and threw a no hitter. I think your first time.
I had a no hitter. I think,
and they turned the lights off on you on us, and they were like, "Yeah, sorry, the game's over."
Great catching up.
Yeah, this has been a blast. Yeah. Really. I had a lot of fun.
No, I do want to do it again. I know, Blake, you're always on the move and you're not here often, but Ricky, you are.
Back in April.
You
live close.
So let's do it part 2.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't even seen Blake in like 5 months too. So it's.
When's the last time we saw each other?
Like November?
At that Little Weenies Anonymous?
Yeah, we did. We saw each other.
Little Weenies Anonymous.
Shoot.
Tiny Condom
Emporium.
Yeah.
Showcase?
I wasn't there.
Why did we run into each other?
I wasn't there in the back and saw you guys and didn't say anything.
Yeah, you were selling them, which was strange, Yeah.
Destination Hat Penis. No, but I appreciate you both. Where can everybody find Blake on Instagram, Ricky Instagram? Anybody guys, wants to follow you guys?
Everyone's going to want to follow me after this. At Rericulous. That's RERICK. How does it go? LOUS.
I tuned out.
Yeah. It's all right. It's really funny.
We'll throw it up right here.
It's like a kind of a pun on Ricky, my name, and ridiculous, and because I'm so zany.
Yeah, it was good.
It's a combination.
He's just a nutty guy,
and it kind of comes through in a lot of my content.
Yeah,
fantastic.
You can check me out just at Blake W. Rice on everything, and T. You can catch T at it'll be screening at the Athens Film Fest in Ohio in April, and then
River Run.
Screen at River Run in North Carolina this April as well, and the Florida Film Festival too coming up. Also, we just sold our rights in Japan, and if you can catch it there, and
I will be doing
Spain.
the dub over for those.
Legal was furious again.
We're gonna have to edit all that out, but if you want, I can give you a sample of it later.
Yeah. But no, you can catch. That's where you can check that out. More stuff on the way.
Yeah, I'm very happy that we were able to catch up today. Appreciate you guys for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon. Destination Podcast. Continue to embrace your journey, dog.
Embrace your journey.
Embrace. Love you both.
This is celebration, elevation, no more contemplation, no hesitation. This my destination.